Hello, and welcome to day number 2 of the Smart Style for Smart Women Challenge. And today I'm going to be talking about the strategy number 1 you need to be using to stand out and get noticed, and that is creating great first impressions. I don't know if you remember in last video I mentioned people do business with people they like and trust. People will actually assess who you are, how you look, and how you communicate at every single touch point they have with you. And that experience that you create with them will actually affect the results you get in your business and in your life. So I don't know, probably everyone knows this, but a study shows that it takes under 3 seconds for people to make an assumption of who you are when they first meet you. So they meet you, and in the snap of a second they will decide if they like you or not. And this first impression is based 55% in what we see. So that is what you are wearing and how you use your body language. 38% based on what we hear, intonation, volume, and speed. And only 7% of that impression is based on the words you actually use. So I'm not saying what you have to say is not important. What I am actually wanting to make a point is for you to realize that if your body language and how you communicate through your image is not aligned, if those 2 elements are not aligned with your message, your message is going to get lost. You need to actually let people know through your body language and your image how intelligent and capable you are. Then they will open their ears and it will be open to listen to what you have to say. So I know it sounds harsh, but it's the truth, and there's a lot of scientific research behind this. We either like what we see or we don't, and it's like, remember, it's like, I want you to imagine, I want to explain a story. Imagine you are going into a new city and you're looking for a restaurant to have dinner. You're going to be looking through the street, and then if you see a restaurant that looks like old and dirty, you are going to assume the quality of the food is not good, so you don't want to go there. You're going to go and pick a restaurant where you actually see it looks clean and it looks beautiful, because we assume that whatever we see is a reflection of the abilities of that person as well to do the job. So remember, this is not about being superficial. It's not about that we judge based on what we see, on impressions. So it's the same. People see you, and if you do not look the part, they will instantly assume that you don't have what it takes. So that's what is really important, that we align the capabilities that you have with your visual image, and that includes your body language and your clothes. So remember, how you look matters, and it affects how you see yourself. It affects how you act, and it affects how others perceive you. And I just want you to think of the last time you were going to a wedding or to a big event, and you spent some time picking out what you were going to wear, choosing a hairstyle, getting your makeup done. How did you feel? You felt like $1 million. And then we actually do feel like that. You stand different, you stand confident, and from that position you act. So this is exactly what I am referring to here. This is about you just doing this not just because of the impressions you are creating, which are actually really important, but I'm really passionate about getting you feeling really happy when you look in that mirror and you actually look at a woman that has made an effort to look good. And even studies show that when you actually are groomed and you look good, have put an effort into how you are coming across and with your image, it is assumed that you have the same attention to detail when you're going to do the job. And I also want you to understand that this is not about being a supermodel and being this height, this weight, and confidence and attractiveness have nothing to do with perfection. And I really want to make a point with this, because I hear this all the time with the women. But I need to lose this weight. But I need to do my roots. I need to get my teeth white. And I want you also to understand that this is not about how you look. This is about you making the most out of who you are. And every single individual in the planet can look attractive when you actually know how to make the most out of who you are, through using the right colors and styles and feeling confident. And I don't know if you have ever met someone that wasn't precisely the perfect height or weight, and she was so magnetic, and it's all about the confidence and making the most out of who you are. So this is not about you having to look X or Y way. This is about just you making the most out of who you are and confidently and unapologetically sharing who you are with a confidence. So I want to get now into the confidence a little bit, because it is really, really big here. And confidence is something that you can develop. And generally speaking, I will generalize, most women I speak with, including myself, we could do with a lot of more confidence. Even recently, I was listening to a study that Harvard University did, where managers were interviewed across different types of businesses and industries. And they were asked why women were not promoted to managerial roles. And then the guys were replying, saying that even though they had many women in their teams that were capable to do the job, they lacked the confidence to believe they could. So it's kind of like, actually, and there's a lot of studies around this, around how we women are putting ourselves down by the lack of confidence in ourselves. So confidence is a skill you can develop. It's not a personality trait. And I can actually tell you that because I have learned how to develop my confidence. I shared with you last video that I had such a lack of confidence in myself, in my abilities, in how I look, in who I was. And I am not perfect now with my confidence, but I have grown quite a bit. So I know it's a skill you can develop, and it's part of the work I do with my clients, and I love it. And as I said, for me, it's all about being confident from the inside out, having a look in a personal brand that reflects confidence by you feeling confident. So it's all about learning how you can develop your confidence through your mindset, through how you use your body language, and through knowing that you have a style, an image, and a personal brand that is actually the best representation of who you are. And also, I want you to understand that confidence is you generously sharing who you are, being present in the moment. And I spoke a little bit about that last video, but when we are just talking to someone or doing a presentation or talking to a new client or at a working event or doing a speech, public speaking, and you are so worried and self-conscious about how am I looking, how am I standing, what are they thinking of me, you get so distracted that you kind of start showing through your body language and what you're saying that you're nervous because you're putting your attention away of yourself. So part of being confident for you is learning how to bring that attention into your heart, into your soul, and into your body, so you are fully present with that moment, with that person or the group of people, and you are generally sharing who you are with them. And I also want you to understand here that how you dress can also help you create that power look and leadership look. And I want to go into that second thing now, and I want to mention one of my clients, Lisa. She came to me because she was feeling she was not taken seriously. She's a partner in a real estate commercial business, and she's in partnership with a male Australian. And she was saying, I just kind of feel that people are not respecting me, and sometimes they just think I'm the PA and I'm not taking it into consideration. So we were working with Lisa. What we did is, okay, how are you coming across? What are your levels of confidence? How are you dressing? How are you using your body language? So we started analyzing how she was coming across naturally. And then what we discovered is she could do a lot of adjustments to her body language through her level of confidence, and also adjusting how she was dressing. So understanding that flowy clothes that have a lot of patterns and pastel colors and have ribbons or that have bows or frills look very feminine, which is nothing wrong with it. But when the person comes across as a very feminine, soft woman with a low voice, and you add the clothes that give more femininity, you are taking away from your credibility. So by adjusting the styles to styles that are a little bit more fitted and structured and stronger colors, doesn't necessarily have to be black and white. Believe me, I do not believe that to look credible you need to go that far. And I have had many clients, and there is a completely possible way of looking feminine and professional. So with Lisa was all about how do we adjust your body language so you appear to be more credible, but it's because she was feeling more confident. So the body language helped her feel more confident. She appeared more credible. We adjust a little bit the styles and the colors she was wearing in a way that she felt 100% her. Because I am all about you staying true to who you are and you embracing who you are fully, understanding how the science of first impressions, clothes and styles work, by you adjusting in a way that things feel 100% you. So that was great to really understand that it was not about changing, it's about learning how you can do things differently. And we created a new, just a few details here and there of Lisa's way of communicating in her confidence and in her body language and with her clothing. And she was able to run a meeting that she was preparing towards after we were working together, and she was going to have to let go of some people. And she said that meeting went just amazingly. It was amazing how I was able to stand in my power, walk into that room knowing that I was making the best use of my body language and who I am and how I look, and command power in a very gentle and loving way. So that is the power of you knowing how to make the most out of who you are. And that's what I call a smart style for smart women. It's like we are smart, capable women, but we need to understand that we need to know how to use who we are to get what we want. And when I say that, I don't mean that in a manipulative way. I said that in a way that you actually get to know yourself, get to fall in love with yourself, your strengths and weaknesses. You know how to make the most of who you are, you value your strengths, your body language, your body, and then you command power by being confident. And for me, working on the image and the personal style is all about, and your personal brand is all about that. You stepping into your best version, you bringing your best foot forward. You live in situations saying, I said what I had to say, as opposed to living situations thinking, oh God, I wish I had said this, why didn't I say that? I was doubting myself. So I want you to understand this is quite profound, and there's nothing superficial about you making the most out of who you are and how you look. And also, I had a client, and the contrast level is another, the next element I want to explain about. I had a client, her name is Denise, and she moved from New Zealand to Australia. And through my work with her, I was reminded of the power of contrast. And contrast is the contrast between two colors that you wear. So for example, the pattern in my dress, I have like a dark blue, black, and a light blue, so that is medium contrast when we put together a light and a dark color. Or also the contrast between what you're wearing and your skin. So this is also medium contrast, like a darker color and a lighter skin. Or for example, if you're wearing two colors that are very close to each other. So if you have very dark skin with a dark top, that will be low contrast. Or a very dark, light skin with a light cream beige dress, that will be low contrast. And high contrast is when we put colors together that are completely opposite to each other. So imagine hot pink and yellow. The level of contrast, especially when worked within the vital V, and the vital V is that area between the tip of the shoulders and the front of your chest. So all this area around the face, neuroscientific research shows that everything within the vital V is noticed in that first impression of those first minutes. And then what happens is the level of contrast around your face will create your brain to react, because our brain literally picks up contrast. So when we use low contrast around our face, you can look elegant and sophisticated, but because the level of contrast is low, your brain, the people's brain don't notice it as much, you can go unnoticed. So it's elegant and sophisticated, but you can go unnoticed. So it's not good to be wearing low contrast levels when you're wanting to be noticed, as in presenting, going to a networking event, or a first date. Then medium contrast level, like what I'm doing today, dark hair, light skin, darker dress here, and the colors, the light blue, is the most people-friendly and always appropriate. Also blue being the most approachable color to use. And then when we wear high contrast level, that is, as I said, those colors that are completely different, you are seen as very creative, which as I always say, nothing is right or wrong. It's just that you need to understand that credibility can be taken away from you if you look way too creative with what you're wearing. So it is important to understand that the color and the fit, as I mentioned before, can change that. So with Lisa, what we did is she loved wearing low contrast. So for her to increase that credibility and to be seen, we changed and adjusted a little bit of contrast with her. And with Denise, that I mentioned before, when I first met her, she was going for a promotion, and she wanted to be the manager of her corporate services area. And when we went into her wardrobe, everything was gray and black. It was a very plain wardrobe, and what we worked with her a lot, as well as much as it was with the confidence piece as well, was the level of contrast of clothes she was wearing. And when we finished working, she had created a look that felt, as I said, what I love, completely her, but she was stepping up to be noticed and be seen. And a few months after we finished working, she sent me an email letting me know she was promoted to being overseeing a staff of 30 people, and she was over the moon. And she was amazed at realizing, wow, it's what you said. I was doing invisible work before. She was doing a lot, but she was not being seen, and I went into doing invisible work when people knew who she was, who the woman behind these great things she was doing was, and her boss got interested. She submitted her application for the role, and she got it. So it's that combination of the confidence of you believing who you are and you knowing that you're looking the part. So remember, very simple yet very powerful. There's such a big science behind this, and it is within your power to decide to be confident and to make the most out of who you are. So your challenge today is to score yourself from 1 to 10 in the scale of confidence. How confident are you coming across to people? And then I want you to analyze, are you wearing, what type of contrast are you mostly wearing? Is it medium, high, or low? And are the fit of your clothes creating credibility? Or are you coming across as too feminine? Or are you going completely invisible behind just wearing black and a very boring wardrobe that doesn't reflect on the outside who you are? So is your wardrobe actually showing on the outside to people, and your body language showing to them who you actually are? So have a beautiful day, and I'll be back tomorrow with the last video. Bye!